I'm Jordan A. Smith. This is Youth News at Talkback for Teens, and here I have with me
Shantini Cowens, assistant producer.
And Tiana.
Alrighty, so we have some stories for you guys this evening, and Shantini will start.
We're going to be starting about the hottest news as of right now in Steubenville, Ohio, where 2 teens were allegedly accused of raping a 16-year-old girl at a party, and they have been convicted of the crime as well. It's weird because the 16-year-old girl, they were at a party, she was drunk, drinking, and apparently they were accused of raping the girl both in the house that they were having the party at as well as in a car. And the thing is, she woke up not remembering anything, just having no clothes on and not remembering anything that happened after, being at the party. So those 2 boys, part of the town's football team and very, well-known and loved, and it's just come as a big shock to the community.
It's a big football town. Like, they love, like, the high school, they have this special stadium just for their high school football team. Like, they built it, these huge lights,
just for
everything. It's a big football town. And so these students, they were, like, the quarterback, and they were the star players. They were, like, going to go to
how did they identify them then?
Because they posted the pictures to Facebook, Instagram. They were texting them to everybody.
What?
And not even to, support what they were doing, but that's pretty stupid. If you were going to do something like that, why would you post that to the internet or sending off to people? But, no, in no way I'm, condoning that. But I feel as though, as, a new day and age, as far as, youth, we've gotten really attached to the media as far as putting pictures of you, fondling some girl at a party on the internet. I mean, that's pretty...
No, I don't
Number one, even if the girl did consent, that's going to look bad to whoever is scouting you. To put those pictures up, let's be serious. How many people have their Instagram as private? And even if it is, how easy is it to hack into your Facebook, see those photos, and so easily is your scholarship done? Those colleges don't need anyone who's going to bring bad publicity, especially with college sports already being criticized a lot for having students who don't care about school and are only there for the sports. So, I mean, colleges are going to take that extra step to make sure they aren't recruiting boys who are going to bring bad publicity.
Yeah, they're pretty much done. If you you have a story on it now.
Done.
Yeah, but the best part of the story is how CNN covered it. CNN got in so much trouble because the people who covered the story focused, they said, more on the rapists. Oh, not the rapists, but on the boys. So instead of saying, the girl, this is how tragic for the girl, they were going into how these boys, their life is pretty much over. Number one, they were in juvenile court, so they're only going to be in jail maybe till 21.
16-year-old.
Yes.
The 16-year-old gets 1 year.
Yeah.
The 17-year-old gets 2 years, and then the only consequence after that is they both have to file as juvenile sex offenders.
Yeah. So they're labeled as that. So they focus totally on the fact, and they're not probably going to go to college on their scholarship. Yeah. But instead of saying, the girl whose image is out there, once that is out there, it's over. Everyone is going to know your face. They focus more on the fact that these boys' lives are over.
It's refreshing, though, because, we hear all about girls on, we talked about it before, YouTube and stuff like that. Oh, they ridiculed me. I'm such a victim. I'm so glad that they did not make more of a victim out of her. And
I think they did that for that specific reason, because even with, when I saw it just, this morning on the news, they didn't show the girl's testimony. They didn't show, the mom has said that, what you did was wrong, and, you better, hope and pray that God forgives you for what you've done and all that stuff. But they didn't show her face due to the fact that I guess they want to keep the family. I mean, what if they,
it's also in juvenile court. Yeah. A lot of times they don't even let the media into it. Yeah. So we wouldn't even have access to her testimony.
Usually, I mean, think about if they were to go and take a vacation to come to Rochester, we would all know every last one of their faces. And that would be just so harsh on the family to go out and just be like, well, everyone knows what happened. Everyone knows my face is out there. So it's just we're still very limited, but I feel as though they did it for a reason.
But there's a way to do that without making it seem as if it's the boys who are the victims in this.
Yeah,
there's a way to not focus on the girl but not also glorify in a way what these boys have done by saying, oh my God, their lives are over. Because regardless of what this girl did, yes, she messed up by getting so wasted
I was
at
about
this
to go
party.
there.
I know you were. Let me beat you to it. Number one, I don't agree with what that girl did. You need to be careful with who you are partying with. You can't just assume that everyone you party with is going to take you home, tuck you in bed, and make sure you have bacon and eggs in the morning. You can't just assume that. And so she willingly left with those guys. That was definitely no one argued that. She left willingly with those guys. And so at that point,
is it rape? Because what point didn't she consent? Because we don't know anything because she was so hungover drunk.
They're saying that she couldn't consent. Not that she didn't consent.
That she was so drunk that she couldn't.
She didn't have them. So like when you if you were to rape someone who, you know, didn't have the mental capacity to say no, that's still rape. So that's what they were arguing, that she just could not say no. Yeah. So then they took advantage of that.
They actually also said that that upon doing that, she I guess the next day when she woke up, because she did consent to leaving with them. She was like, oh, you know, I'll go with you guys. But she...
And she invited the guy to the party. He didn't even know about the party. She invited him to the party she was at.
Yeah, she texted them the next day and was like, what is wrong with you? What happened? How could you let something like this happen to me? I thought we were friends. It's just like, man, it's just like you gotta watch your back. I mean, all these people we call your friends don't have your best interest in mind.
I'm not playing devil's advocate at all, you guys, but it just seems to me that her parents are upset, like you guys said her mother was saying things. She's upset because her business was out there. That's why I feel like she's upset, because if you were to get drunk and consent to leave with these guys, you knew something was going to happen.
So
like, why would you leave your location? She should. Why would you leave that location and then expect what?
She's
you want to go out to eat Denny's? No.
Yeah.
They weren't going to rape you.
The boys are definitely wrong. I agree with that. There's obviously no arguing. You should never do that. They took advantage of that. But that girl does need to be held accountable. And I mean, a lot of people like to say we're in a victim-blaming era. But at the same time, when this girl can get off scot-free, that's a problem. I mean, yes, her mom said you are wrong, but what has she really lost? And she can't lose anything. Like, a college can't deny her for that without being sued. You know, like,
I mean, the most that she's
there's
lost
nothing to lose.
To say that, you know, she's lost friends, or she's gained people who are going to now talk about her behind her back, or she now has gained the fear, because they were saying that
she's
she
not
doesn't
going to
know
jail, though,
whether or not
in terms of legal repercussions,
yes,
I will not say, oh, this girl, you know, she's going to be just fine. No, I mean, there's definitely some kind of emotional trauma that accompanies this, but at the same time, there has to be a more social kind of responsibility or accountability that we attach her to, and we're not doing that. Otherwise, we're just going to keep saying that these girls who go out, party against everyone who says you should not do this, get raped, they're still okay. There was a girl who, at RIT, that happened. I guess she was drinking, she was walking off campus. Some guys ran up behind her, and, well, they were in a car and said, you know, get in, the police are coming. You know, you can't be publicly intoxicated. So she gets in, they drive her to a field, gang rape her, she makes her way back to campus, and she's sued. I mean, well, she didn't sue, but she told. But
that is terrible.
And it's going to continue to happen until you say that these girls cannot get so drunk and start saying these girls need to take better care of themselves and stop making them the victim and everything, then I mean, it's going to keep happening. You can't keep putting boys in jail. You can't put every single boy in jail. You have to teach these girls how to take better care of themselves.
Especially when they're walking, like with parties, you get dressed up in
heels.
Yeah, so provocatively, and it's just like, well, you know, that girl's really pretty, and I really want her. I mean, you're kind of saying, well, you know, come pick me up, because I look really good today. And it's just like, and then on top of that, you're intoxicated, so you have no clue what's going on.
So you can get dressed up and say no, but then you lose your ability to say no
once you start drinking.
And that's that.
Yeah, and this is a repeat over time, because you know what I think about? I think about the ones that were more publicized, like R. Kelly situation.
Oh my God.
Akon. The list goes on. Yeah. So what are we to do, people?
Kobe.
Oh,
God. Remember that one?
Which one, though? Because Kobe has so many.
That's true.
Wow. The issue is that people who see this is going to say that, once again, we're blaming the victim.
Yes.
And so nothing is going to move forward until people are willing to blame the victim, even if it's just a little bit of blame, to say you should have acted so much better. It's just this fear that, you know, as soon as you start blaming the victim, you are a horrible person. We don't want to hear that.
You are shut down.
She's 16.
How does the drinking age there? Because
21.
21. I'm pretty sure it's 21.
See, that's the
far from 16.
Stuff I don't
I mean, even if the boys weren't convicted for rape, it would be child pornography, intoxication. There were a bunch of other things.
Yeah.
But they dropped them completely, only stuck with the rape.
Yeah, so I'm wondering, I mean, this girl should be charged for drinking underage. There's evidence for that. Yeah, there should be something. I mean, I'm not saying that she should be sent to jail.
At least ticketed.
But she needs something because...
Well, you guys, I have a story, and it's very small detail because it just was released 9 a.m. this morning. So there was a kid in Sterling, Virginia, a teenager, I shouldn't say kid, and he was out drinking with his friends, and they dropped him off, and I'm guessing I'm guessing it's like a suburb town, and you know how a lot of the houses look exactly alike in the suburb. Dropped him off at the wrong house. Yes, he was sneaking back in because of course parents, mommy and daddy, doesn't know.
They're asleep.
So he's sneaking into the back window
of his real house, or
the
not house
thought was his.
The house that his friends.
So he didn't even realize he was at the wrong house.
His friends didn't.
Oh my Lord.
Yes. Okay.
So
yes.
drunk.
Listen. So they dropped him off at the wrong house. He's going through the back door, the back window to get into the house, not to alarm his parents. It's whatever a.m. in the morning, and it's his neighbor's house. I think somebody's trying to sneak and rob, and they shot and killed him. That really blew my mind. That the houses look exactly alike to that point. You know what I mean?
Why not just carry a bat? If anything, you could I don't see what the
That's what I was gonna get into.
To have I have family that live in Virginia, and I have a lot of uncles there that live there as well, and they're from the Army. They have weapons, but if there's somebody sneaking in, the first thing they grab is a bat. I mean, if anything, break a couple bones, send them to the hospital.
But is that because they have military training?
Yeah, because J9 don't got no military training, and I'm going to shoot you because I don't know what you have.
That's
so
true.
Before you get me, I'm going to have to
hold
get you.
on.
But
I want to backtrack and ask, what did you just call yourself?
J9.
That's her rapper name. That's a rapper name.
Oh, we discussed that in this segment.
Yes, we did.
Yeah,
so much talent, up and coming rapper. But yeah, I feel so we should resort to a bat, or if you have a crowbar or something like that, something that will injure the person, not exactly, because that's someone's child, someone's baby, and it's just
you never know.
How bad is crime in a suburban neighborhood where all of the houses look alike? Now, I love Oscar Pistorius, and I kind of wanted to agree with him in South Africa where stuff goes down, but in a suburban neighborhood, why is that your first thought?
Yeah, that's a good question, but
that doesn't make sense. Now in a city, I could understand. I would be a little bit more willing to understand. But in a suburban neighborhood, you shouldn't even think, let me shoot this robber.
I would not necessarily go for the head, but I'm definitely going to shoot you. I don't know what you have. If you're coming into my house, yeah, because then they can't move.
You want to put them out, put them down.
But if you coming in my house, I imagine that you have something to defend yourself with. So
they shot him in the head.
I don't know exactly where they shot him. Like I said, this was just released 9 a.m. It's very limited details, but I just wanted to bring it in for you guys.
Because knowing even me living in the suburbs, we did not think to have a gun in the house or have some type of you got something handy, you pick up the first thing and you chuck it. I mean, there wasn't many reasons to have a weapon in the house. And here, person that's sneaking into your house might also have a gun and might want to kill you.
Right, we're in Rochester. You pull out the gun.
I will say honestly though, I have lived in the city all my life. I have lived in my present location for about 13 years and we don't have a gun. We don't, so.
You know what? We have a gun, but I think it's more because my dad is planning for the zombie apocalypse. I've never had to worry about robbers, and I live in a city as well.
Yeah, no one ever tried to come into my home or anything.
Someone actually tried to break into our house while my dad was in the house.
Did he whip out the Uzi? Was he ready?
What we have in our house, we have a BB gun, so it looks like a real gun, and you might get afraid, and you'll definitely get hurt when the BB hits you.
Dude, that's so smart to have a BB gun and stuff.
Plus you don't get prosecuted for killing someone's child. And then on top of that, someone tried, he was home, and my dad, drives taxi, so you can tell when he's not there because at the time he was the only person who drove. So if the car's not there, he's not there. If you don't hear us yelling and screaming at each other, we're not there. So he's
Please teach them how to break into your home.
Well, it was years ago. So, you know, we're a little calmer now. But yeah, his tax was getting fixed. The person didn't know that, and they tried to break in through the back door. And my dad it wasn't softball season, so my softball bat is just laying around. That's what he picked up. And he, like, in his bathrobe, good thing it was, like, 70-degree weather outside. Because in his bathrobe, he went running, like, right after that kid who tried to break into the house. And it was just like, you know, there was still no reason to have a gun. I mean, he didn't.
What do you want, though?
Him.
Like,
get a BB gun.
I'm not promoting, you know, robbing stores or anything, but what do you want where you got to steal from people's home? What is in my house?
Well, they do have gang initiations where you have to kill somebody or you gotta break into someone's home. So it depends on the reason. You have people that are like, well, you know, my family isn't privileged and they have more than I do, so I want something they have. You know, it depends on the mindset of the person. So.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd still just be interested to know why someone in the suburbs.
Get a BB gun. That solves your problems. You know, it looks like a weapon, so you'll be afraid, but you won't actually.
Now, if too many people get a BB gun, people won't be scared to break into houses.
Well, then, yeah, because they know, you know,
it's not going to blow up.
And it'll be fine.
What's going on now is the whole gun evaluation now.
I wonder if they'll ban BB guns, because, you know, that's technically a gun. You know,
no, they're going to do real gun before that.
Okay, so my story. And this one actually tugged at my heartstrings a little bit. There is a story of a little girl named Koi. Okay, technically, getting right down to the basics, she's not a girl. She was born a male, but she identifies as a girl. Like, since she could first express herself, she's been a girl. So she started kindergarten, and that was no problem. They let her use the girls' bathroom, no problem. She starts first grade, and out of the blue, her parents get a call that she can no longer use the girls' bathroom. She has to either use the boys' bathroom.
Wait, question. So she's been a girl this whole time. When did she do her transformation?
Well, she just dresses as a girl.
She's transgender.
Transgender. Okay. That's my bad. Should have trans. But yes, transgender. So they told her you can only use the boys' bathroom because you still have your boy parts, even though you look like a girl. You can use the nurse's bathroom or the principal's bathroom. So they gave her options, but her parents didn't think that was enough. Is it? Like, should she just be happy with using the nurse's bathroom? Because it's not like they're making her only use the boys' bathroom.
I kind of feel as though it's like with this day and age where people are more accepting, especially kids, because the older generation aren't as accepting, but where kids are more accepting of people's differences, as though whether or not you want to be considered, you know, homosexual, lesbian, transgender, we're more accepting of that than as far as, like, you know, the older generation. Like, you might not be completely across the board accepting of it, but I feel as though our generation is more accepting of it. And it's the same thing with our school. We have a transgender kid there, you know, was a boy. He wants to, you know, undergo a surgery, become a girl. I keep saying he, but it's just like that's how I remember him because I don't talk to him much now. But that has nothing to do with that. It's just, you know, intertwining classes don't intertwine anymore. But it's just like he's a she now, and she has a boyfriend. She's living her life. She wants to undergo a surgery, and it's just like even now she's not allowed to get dressed in the girls' locker room or use the girls' bathroom. She uses the principal's bathroom due to the fact that, you know, they feel as though it's not right for her to be in the girls' bathroom because she's on the boys' part, so that might be kind of weird for girls. And then it won't be, like, as far as going in the boys' locker room, that's as far as, like, safety reason, whereas, you know, guys will be offended.
Right.
And you don't want them to get into a fight or you don't want them to get hurt because they're just trying to express themselves. So it's just like, that's all, you know, she has to offer was to use the principal's bathroom, and that's kind of
but did the kids care, like, in your school? Because I know in this story the kids have never had a problem with it. The principal just said that as Koi grows up,
there's going to be a problem.
There's going to be a problem. And I don't know if, like, she's trying to avoid that now and get her used to the principal's bathroom or what. But I just feel like I don't think it would ever become an issue. And I think administration makes it more of an issue than it actually is, especially to other students.
Yeah.
I mean, we have stalls in our bathroom. It's one thing in boys' bathroom where the urinals, it's stalls. It is your private business, you know? So I don't know. I think administration makes it so much more of an issue than we actually believe it to be.
Because you know what? We're looking at the people in our class, and administration is looking at the students to come along. So if we have a boy who, or, you know, a girl who undergoes the transformation and decides to become a boy, we can't have the girl who wants to be a boy going to the boys' bathrooms, that becomes a huge hazard because they do have the urinals, and parents may not be okay with that. Who knows? But me personally, I don't know. I wouldn't feel uncomfortable with that. If you identify yourself as that, and you're not going to try to, you know what I mean?
Like, oh, Jordan.
If you identify yourself as a girl, and we're all girls, and we're all ladies, then cool. That's what I'm going to see you as, and that's what I'm going to identify you as. But I don't know. I think I agree with you. Administration makes it a bigger issue.
And I also think that along with administration making it like such a big deal, I kind of feel as though it's more of a gender thing. Being girls is just like, we're openly accepting. You want to be a girl, you identify yourself as a girl. All right. Well, with guys, and I feel as though I see it more more within the city school district rather than in the suburbs. Because being in the suburbs, for Spirit, we had a day where all the girls dressed up like guys and all the guys dressed up like girls.
Oh, we did that for my school too.
And yeah, they wore skirts, they wore dresses. Can I borrow your tube top? All that stuff.
Fun.
But here it's just like, nah, I won't do that. That's gay. I'm not gonna do that. And it's just like, if you're not gay, why aren't you able to, openly just be like, we know you're not gay, so it's just like, why can't you just, participate in the fun? It's just fun. So I feel as though the guys feel as though, well, he's now a girl and she likes boys now that he's a girl. So her being in our locker room because she's a boy, does that mean they're going to hit on me? I'm not gay. I don't want that happening. So I feel as though it's a gender thing. Because the girls are just like, well, we accept you as you are. You don't change who. I feel as though girls are more compassionate, whereas guys are more, concerned about what others will think about them.
It's a huge legal battle now, so we'll just have to keep our eye out for how this plays out. I'm really interested to see the outcome. I know this is going to be one of those landmark cases that hopefully sets precedent for, a whole bunch of other transgender
They would love
people.
that. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and beyond the school, like the malls, the local malls.
Yeah.
Well, how would you feel with,
I read that in the article. They said public bathrooms is a huge transgender issue. And you don't think about it, as someone who's stating your own gender.
Because it's just like, where do I go?
You don't think about it. It's like you don't want to make people uncomfortable, especially when there's other people in there. You don't want to have to worry about security being called on you or anything like that.
You're just trying to go to the bathroom.
You just want to pee, man.
So my name is Jordan A. Smith.
I'm Chancey Collins.
And I'm Tiana.
And this has been Talk Back for Teens Youth News. And we're back. My name is Jordan A. Smith. This is our assistant producer, Ms. Chancey Collins. And this episode is talent.
Very nice. Okay. Well, first question. Do you guys believe that music, sorry, this doesn't interest you, but sorry, as far as having music, that having band as a class is very beneficial towards you?
Oh yeah. If you didn't have band, you wouldn't really improve in music, and you wouldn't have like lessons. If you didn't have band, goes with lessons. You get graded for it, and if you didn't have that, you wouldn't really improve. So it's really helpful to have band.
Well, New York State requires a music credit, and I have heard people like just doing it because they really have to. But if people knew that they would enjoy it, if they really tried, I think they would be more keen on doing it. And it's definitely something that people should try. It's not a scary thing.
I definitely agree, because I know as far as for our school, that it used to be a class, and then they took it out completely, and they put an actual class in place of that period where you'd have band. And then so now like the teachers' days are cut back, and the students have to get pulled out of different classes to like meet, and then band rehearsals are like once a week during a specific lunch period. Not everyone has that same lunch, so only like.
How often do you guys have band? If yours is once a week.
We meet every other day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's an average of 2 to 3 times a week, and yours is like once a week. That's terrible.
Definitely like difficult for like me, because I actually like transferred into the city from the suburbs, and that's what I was used to, was meeting every other day, and then to move to the city and then meet like at first it was once like every other day, like only in the morning, and then it went to completely like once a week. So that was weird. Definitely weird for me. What you do in school helps or limits your playing abilities?
As far as band?
Yeah.
It depends on who's actually in the orchestra and what music you're playing. If it's music that you like or is challenging, it definitely enhances your playing abilities and it makes it enjoyable, which is really what music is for. But if you're in a class with a bunch of people who really don't care, then it can really hurt your ability because you're not given a chance to play to your fullest, and it makes you get worse.
And with any class, the teacher's attention is divided, so now they're policing their class and not really necessarily teaching it, giving you that information.
Yeah, I definitely think that if people don't care about it, they're not going to get better. And what's the point of having band if you don't care about it? And what's the point of doing an instrument if you don't care?
Yeah, it's definitely a problem for us because kids just want the credit to graduate.
Yeah.
So they only show up when they have to. They don't really actually practice anything. So it's like every year you play, the same level of music. You never really do anything challenging because no one's ever there at the same time, so that you can actually get it done and get it done well. Because I know as far as the all-city band program they have that goes on every year in the March, all the schools come together and play a few pieces. And you meet together once for rehearsal, and then the next time you meet, it's day of the concert. So it's just the music we were playing, I was so surprised because I was just oh, I know this music. I played it in 7th to 8th grade, and it's just as a high school band, it's just some people were struggling with it, and it was just this is what we deal with due to the fact that there's a lack in teaching and there's a lack in kids and their commitment and how much they actually want to be a part of it. So I know that's kind of frustrating.
Well, I, like Veronica, am not a part of the band at all. But based on,
I lack musical ability.
It's the same thing for for sports. As far as what you were saying with there being a lack of opportunities to go out and be able to do it in school at an earlier age rather than starting at modified in 7th grade, where it's just that's your first ever look at a softball or picking up a softball or a volleyball.
I remember, I have an example. The first time I met somebody who had never played softball before in their life, they looked at the softball and they thought it was a volleyball. They called it volleyball. So, and this was at 7th grade. They're like, oh, I want to play volleyball. Wow. I had a sad tear for a quick minute. I just looked and I was utterly shocked with my life. And I've grown up in the city for most of my life, so it was even more of a disappointment to me in that aspect. And I agree with her. It's just like band, orchestra, music. You have to practice to get better, and if you're not going to come or be committed, that's even more frustrating, especially for people that want to get bigger and better in that aspect. So I know we have people that our coach is very determined. You need to be at practice. You don't skip for a dentist appointment.
He hates
You don't skip for a reason. You go to practice, you get better, you play. And it's kind of like in music, how you have different chairs where you want to see and where you aspire to be. It's the same thing in softball. You want to be, or any sport, you want to be first string. You work hard to show the coach. You don't want to just be part of the team. You want to be the best you can be.
Well, based off what you guys are saying, because I'm not on a team, I don't play on a band, so I'm just drawing the conclusion that practice makes perfect, definitely. But it seems like some schools are limited. Are limited by their opportunities to get perfect. Like you said, Rochester doesn't necessarily support softball to your liking, and Chantanite School only has band once a week, where you guys have it 2 to 3 times a week. So is it your location that necessarily caters to your talent?
I feel like it's financial, as far as what
that will
get a lot more funding for certain programs.
That will determine your location, because certain schools,
community involvement, all that.
Yeah. But the cause of the financial trouble is that there's a lack of support for it, and without support, you're not even going to get the money in the first place.
Definitely agree.
I kind of disagree with that, because it's not just our schools that are providing support. It's, like we said earlier, it's our parents.
Okay.
And a lot of children that are underprivileged or not having from an economic background don't have the abilities of having their parents pay for lessons. And no matter if you're taking music or doing athletic ability, these things are very expensive. People don't. It's very, very expensive. I don't know how much it costs for you guys for music, but I can only assume that it's hundreds or thousands of dollars. So it's not going to be something that all families can say I can afford. Some families, especially coming from our school, might say, I would rather pay for them to have a new pair of pants because theirs ripped and they buy or a new pair of sneakers because theirs are destroyed, or pay for dinner, or have support their 5 siblings, then say, I can't pay for music lessons because they're too expensive, or I can't pay to put them in this league because it's too expensive, or I can't pay for the travel aspect of it. I had a friend that went through that scenario for my travel softball, and she stayed with us most weekends, and we did a lot of camping around it to figure things out, to lower the expenses, but even still, it's still expensive, and something that I thank my parents for, that they've given me the opportunity, because after all, the city can't keep giving handouts. They can give us some, they can give us more aid, which they definitely, music programs and art programs need, but there's to a certain extent where they can't give any more, and that some of those people that have the abilities will always have a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
agree with that, but I feel so kind of like, to go along with like community involvement and paying for it and stuff like that, that just some people, you know, they don't have someone to tell them, well, you know, there's a good program here, it's completely free. You know, there's a program here, and they work with your family's financial status, and that it's just like, it's as though there's no one there that, like, I wouldn't want to say want to help you, they just don't find the time to just be like, well, you know, you like fashion, there's a cool fashion club that's starting there, you know, completely free, they put it on themselves, it's just supported by the community, or, you know, there's a, you know, free softball league, so it's just like, we have stuff in the community, but I feel as though it's not advertised as much as it should be.
And I definitely see both sides very clearly, but I think it is really a lack of education on the topic, because this is not it's obvious that the suburbs and the city is divided, but it's not what it used to be, and it's not as divided. It's so many opportunities for city kids as well as there are for suburban kids or whatever. I don't know if it's necessarily equal opportunities, but it's so much more. You know, you just have to, you just have to look for it now. And
I mean, there are a few districts in the suburbs that do offer programs where the city kids can come in and
urban suburban.
Yes.
And you know what, you guys, I just found out about suburban urban. So like, kids from the suburbs can come to.
I did not know.
I didn't know that either.
I have an aunt that works in that department, and I didn't even know that.
I thought that was crazy, but it exists. So there is a lot of integration going on, and there are not necessarily equal opportunities, but they're certainly closing in, as Shantanique said.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Because I do have, you know, friends that when I was in the suburbs, they'd get bused from the city because at the time I was living out there. So they would get bused from their homes, like, to the city. And then once we moved to the city, we even thought about doing the program and getting bused back out there because we really liked the school. But then, you know, joined the IB program at Wilson and, you know, decided actually, you know, really liked it and felt as though there was more, like, academic opportunities being from the city than there was being in the suburbs. I mean, look at me and you. We're both from the city school district, and we're eligible for full tuition at RIT. I wouldn't be able to get that if I stayed out in the suburbs. So I definitely feel as though that sometimes there is a lack of certain things, like depending on where you live, but there's also a benefit to it all.
So what I really wanted to know today was, do you feel like you can really pursue a career in your talent? Above all that we discussed and how you go through so many sacrifices, your family sacrifice, you feel like your community supports you and some doesn't support you. Do you feel like you can really make a career out of your talent?
Yeah, definitely. There are lots of things you can do with a music career. You can like go into music science. Like I know one person who like tunes these like bells. He tunes bells that like wind chimes.
That's hard.
That's hard, yeah. Yeah. He tunes bells and tunes marimbas. And that involves shaving off wood and shaving off metal. And most people don't want to do that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's very hard science, but
he's tedious.
Very tedious, yeah. And you can do like things that most people can't, you know. You can like play gigs. You know, you can't exactly do that in sports, no offense. You can like do different
benefits.
Yeah, there are benefits. Yeah.
We just did a benefit for her brother last year.
Yes, we did.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that was definitely fun. Did it raise money for everyone?
Musicians always have opportunities for careers. I mean, I heard about a student many years ago who was in the RPY, Rochester Philharmonic Youth Orchestra, and now is first chair in the Chicago Symphony.
That's cool.
So And yeah, and there was another one who was in that orchestra in the RPYO who is now a world-known conductor and is being invited to everywhere. So
It's being invited everywhere.
yeah.
I don't really see that my future in sports, obvious. Like I said, I do it for health reasons and conduction. I don't see this as a career, honestly. I do it because I love it. I do it because I enjoy it, but I don't see it as a career. And I think if you talk to some different people about doing things that they enjoy, sometimes you see this answer where they're like, I like to keep it separate from my life, because if you do something so often, sometimes it takes the fun out of it in some ways.
Okay.
Also because softball or volleyball or whatever sport you like to do, there's not always that many options for students. I think I saw the statistic once that said there are, I think they said like 2 million people in the United States that participate in sports, and about 30,000 of them go on to do something in college.
That is
and about
scary.
I think they said 10,000 end up playing professional. So it's honestly very slim to none.
I mean, you can't rely on just one thing to.
Yeah, you gotta have
Absolutely.
more things.
And it's something that I don't, there's an opportunity for pro, there's only college for softball, but I don't really mind it because, again, I really enjoy doing it. So if once I reach my end, if I just end up coaching or helping out, that's fine with me because it's something I enjoy doing. I don't see it as professional. I see working towards something that I also really enjoy, like maybe studying history or maybe writing or maybe becoming a doctor or something. So there's always another option to me and myself. I don't really consider myself in just one element where I would say softball's my life, but it's something I enjoy. But it's not something that I would want to create a career off of.
And definitely, like, to feed off what you said, definitely, like, many ways that people can go about, like, finding different, like, opportunities and going from one extreme to the next. Like, for the school that I used to go to, I went to the graduation because I still had a lot of friends out there. So, and there was one kid that I noticed, and I was like, I've never met him before. Everyone that's at that school, we've been together since, like, elementary school all the way up to high school, and I'm like, I've never seen this kid before. He actually, it's really surprising, he actually went from his family being homeless to moving to the suburbs, having him stay with another family because they couldn't, afford to, like, tend to his needs. He ended up staying with another family. He did music, and he's actually, like, going to college to pursue, like, a music career. And I was just like, that is, like, such a cool story.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, man, I never thought. I'm thinking, well, you're going from, the city doesn't give you much money for a music program to, well, maybe I'll do music at college, where you're going from, homeless to music career.
To Juilliard, I know it's
that's
ridiculous.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I thought it was really
it's
amazing.
so much support for the arts and for the athletics in this community. Like, I know I have a friend who just got a scholarship for his athletic, whatever he does. And it's incredible. He gets a scholarship. He's going to school for free for 4 years. I don't know if it includes, like, his living, but that's still incredible, and it's such a great help. And so as it seems that talents kind of make you a better or well-sculpted person because they contribute to your academics. I can only imagine that by looking over a sheet of music for days and days upon weeks, and it just helps your memory ability, however you say that.
Actually gets you see the notes in your mind as you, like, sing a song. Like, I've had that happen. It's been like, whoa.
And it can only fall over into other classes, like your history class or like your math class. It can only fall over and help those.
When she was watching, I just happened to look over, and there's a song to remember the bones in your bodies. And I was just like, if you can make a song out of it, success is yours. So,
yeah,
definitely think that's
so
cool.
You need to teach me that song.
I take Latin class, and we have all these verb endings to remember.
Oh gosh.
And you always put songs with it. And it's always cheesy, but it's fun to sing.
Yeah,
And you remember those for
so-
years and years.
Yeah.
And then when you come back and
Yeah.
when you learn them in the middle of middle school, and you come back into high school and you're still using those,
Yeah.
it just
I was using one
the
all the way
words.
from, like, 5th grade. It sticks with you because music.
Yeah.
I mean, music. I believe that actually music, brings people together. Like, I've never met someone who says I hate music. ever. Like, whether you like rock music or R&B music or pop or classical, everyone has a certain preference of music, and that's what I feel like unites all of us. So it's kind of weird that music unites the world as far as like the media and everything, and yet we have no money for music programs. So.
As far as your talent, how would it help the universe or your community?
I went to a concert that benefited the Hochstein School. It was a great concert, and it shows that the musicians who are playing want to help out the community. It's not just about them.
Definitely on the idea of benefit concerts. I mean, I've gone to a lot of concerts that benefit like leukemia foundations and like cancer foundations, and it shows that that's what he said. Musicians don't really they want to help out each other. They want to help out like the world. They don't want to help out just themselves by learning music.
Benefits are definitely a fantastic thing. I did one for my brother who was very ill last year, and that definitely contributed to the fun and spirit of it. But also, the great thing about playing sports is right now we have 2/3 of America are overweight. And it's very important that we do something about that. And if sports gets people off the couch and getting people more physical exercise, I don't think that's a bad thing at all.
Oh, awesome. I love that. Sports and talents in general really help to inspire people and to come out of their shell and to be well-rounded, better versions of themselves. And just to elaborate on the benefits concert, Veronica and I are close friends, and we had a benefit at our school, as she began to discuss. And basically, our school teamed up together to support a family in need, and it just shows that talents and family and all of that come together. Yes. So talent, how has it changed your life? We would love to know at talkback4teen.com, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We're on it. Talk to us about talent and how has it changed your life. My name is Jordan A. Smith. This is
Shane Cowens.
And we are Talk Back for Teens. Thank you.